Hey guys, so I'm just gonna do a message, a love reading on what is the divine masculine's emotions towards the divine feminine using the emotions card, and then I'm gonna ask some other questions with other decks. So, what is the divine masculine's emotions towards the divine feminine right now? The divine masculine's emotions towards the okay, and then one more because I just shuffled. I was shuffling off camera and I got one. And then now I'm going to do one more. What's the divine masculine emotions? Ooh, okay. All right, I haven't seen these cards before, so that means, again, the divine masculine emotions towards the divine feminine is changing, which is a good sign because I've been posting older readings, like I have readings up to a month, basically, right? And the same emotions were coming out. Like, first part was blame a lot, and then it started to evolve into, I don't remember what the other emotions were, but like the emotions have been changing, but for a long time it was staying stagnant in a certain set of emotions and stuff coming out. So the first card that I got was forgiveness. So how do they feel towards the divine feminine? It says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So what they're realizing is that, like what I was saying, and I said it for a reason, blame. Blame was coming out a lot in the when I was first starting to do these readings. So before they were blaming, they were seeing you as the one who was the reason why this relationship fell apart and why they pulled back their energy. And then now they're at the point where they're starting to take accountability for their role to play in the situation and why things didn't progress forward. So what they want is they want forgiveness from you. They want you to forgive them for their actions. Maybe they were ghosting, sabotaging, not communicating with you, not taking into consideration your feelings. And they're probably realizing like, oh my God, it's like hitting them like a ton of bricks, their role to play in this situation. So they really want your forgiveness, and they're letting go of resentment because they're letting go of the blame and putting all the onus on you for this not working out. And the next card is grief, right? So it says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So, again, tied into forgiveness. So, why they're seeking your forgiveness is because they're grieving the situation. They're grieving their mistakes. They're grieving losing you. And they're understanding that, like, losing you is what's making them appreciate you. Not having you in their life, not having your energy, your presence, the way you made them feel, it's really taking a toll on them to realize like, oh shoot, like I had a gem, I had a diamond, and I didn't see her worth. I didn't see that diamond was offering so much value and giving me unconditional love, but I looked at little things as something to let this connection go. So they're starting to grieve the fact that they didn't appreciate you when they had you, and they're hoping that you'll forgive them for not appreciating you when they had you. And um, and then, but they're also realizing that by them letting it go, that's how they were able to realize that you were something of value to them. You gave them unconditional love. And then growth is the last one. So it says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So they're probably going on a healing, um, gaining more wisdom, meditation, self-reflection, and they're gaining growth. So the reason, and this is so crazy because what I said before, it was tied into them blaming and whatnot, and now the cards are about forgiveness and grief, right? So that's growth. That's growth in their emotions on how they looked at the situation before and how they look at it now. So they're growing. You probably are in a no contact situation, so you have no idea what's been going on in their life, but they've been growing. Emotional maturity, they've been growing. Becoming a better communicator, they've been growing. All the things, areas that they quote unquote lacked, all the areas that caused this relationship to fall apart, they're growing from. And they're probably seeing that you've grown, you've transformed, you've gone on this journey of healing, self-discovery, self-love, putting up boundaries, and they see that, wow, this person has grown so much that I need to match that growth, that I need to be on that same level, that same frequency, in order for this relationship, if you guys do reconcile and start talking to each other, dating, whatever the case may be, that they need to grow as well. So they've been working on their growth and everything. So that's why they're like, I've been growing, and now I realize that I want forgiveness from this person, and I'm grieving the loss of this person, and they've grown and we've grown, so maybe we can come back and this won't be a situation where we miscommunicate and we don't understand each other because both of us have gone on this journey to grow. So I shuffled again and pulled 3 more cards. I really don't like shuffling on camera because it just takes so long, and as I said before, I'm not a good shuffler. But basically, the 3 cards that came out was under forgiveness. I asked the same question. What is the divine masculine's emotions towards the divine feminine? And under forgiveness is relationship. So it says, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So what they're realizing is that the reason why they want this forgiveness is that they want to build a relationship with you. They don't just want something that's surface level. They're realizing that they're attracted to people who serve their highest good, and that's probably what you brought out of them. You probably made them feel like on top of the world. You probably made them, they probably saw that your energy was such a positive force, right? That you were different from the other people that they've dated in the past. The other relationships that they probably were very toxic, right? So what they realize is that they want your forgiveness because they realize that they're attracted to you because of the fact that you bring out their highest good. You bring out the best version of themselves. You allow them to be authentic. You see them for who they are. So that was what was valuable in this relationship, and they needed to lose it in order to understand what that value actually was, right? Because they were in such toxic relationships before, they probably just classified this as something toxic and didn't really, and you guys probably had like a short-lived romance, so you didn't get to know each other on that deeper level. So yeah, as I was saying, so what they realized is like before they were attracting a lot of toxic relationships, probably most of the relationships were toxic, and for whatever the reason was why they attracted toxic people, usually empathetic people, pure-hearted people tend to attract toxic people because we're healers, but they could have been attracted to that toxic, intense situation, right? And not even realize it based on childhood upbringing, however they equated love with, something made them attracted to toxicity. Maybe because they were a fixer and they wanted to save people, right? That they were attracted to that toxicity, and if they didn't save anyone, if they didn't need to save someone and someone was independent, then they didn't know what their role was in that relationship. Why would that person love them? What do they have to offer if they're not fixing and helping, right? But yet, real healthy love is just loving the person for who they are, their character traits, their personality, because they make you laugh, because you have fun with them, because they're stable, because they're loving, because they're gentle, like because they're nurturing. Like that's what love is, right? In a partnership, not what you can get and what you can use someone for and how they can help you. No, stability comes from trusting that that person's going to stay by your side and be loyal to you and not let you go and not abandon you and whatever, right? So they're realizing what relationships really are, and that you were serving their highest good. Like you were bringing out the best in them, whereas other people made them feel down and out and unworthy. So now that's why they want your forgiveness, because they're realizing that. So yeah, again, they want your forgiveness because they see that you serve their highest good, and that's why they want to build something more with you. And then the next card that came out was perseverance, and it says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. And grief, right? So that was under grief. So what they realize is that they're grieving over losing you, but they're realizing that by losing you, that's how they realize, like that's how they're appreciating you, because they're seeing spending that time apart is making them realize like, oh shoot, this person served my highest good. So what they realize is that they need to persevere, that if they put their mind to it, and if they get over their fears and their anxieties and their insecurities and the grief, right, getting over the grief of losing you, then they can persevere and build a relationship with you, get to know you again, have communication, right? But it all starts with them being honest and having communication, because if they don't take that leap forward, then nothing's going to happen. So they know that they have to persevere, but they have to set their mindset that they can do this, right? It's about getting over their stuff that they're dealing with, their negative programming, their thoughts that are telling them that like, oh no, like it's too late, that they're just going to be stuck in this place of grieving. But they know that if I persevere, if I put my mind to it, if I'm honest, I can conquer this challenge, right? Like I can communicate with this person, and hopefully we can build something forward, and hopefully they'll forgive me, right? You'll forgive them. So undergrowth. And it's so funny, we always, when you're channeling directly, like you're just saying whatever comes out of your mouth, and I've always been that person that says whatever comes out my mouth, I'm not thinking through what I'm saying, right? So what came out, and I said it like twice already, I've mentioned it, blame. And it says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. So before, remember I was saying that they were blaming a lot, but now, because it's undergrowth, right, you always have to look at like what card aligns with it. And because it's undergrowth, that means they're growing past this blaming. They're no longer in the state of blaming anymore. That they accept responsibility for their well-being and for their actions and their role to play in this relationship, not progressing forward in everything unfolding the way they did. So they're growing past that. The growth that they're having, because what is it? The growth that they're having is evolving past the blame, right? That's why they're looking for forgiveness, because they were blaming so much, and now they realize, no, I need forgiveness because I had a role to play in everything. And that's where they're grieving the loss of you, because they realize, oh shoot, like this person was, I appreciate this person because they served my highest good. They were there for me. You know what I mean? They were there for me through my hard times. They didn't abandon me, but yet I abandoned them. So yeah, they're growing past this blame and seeing things in a new light, which is good. This is like a positive set of emotions to have. So let's ask some more questions with other cards.